Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Last time I was doing a animation with this log in After Effects, and I wanted to show you guys sort of the finished version of that animation. So here is the log, and these are all of the frames kind of put together of the log falling down. Now at the end of the animation there would be a screen shake right there. That we're not going to see yet, but these are the basic frames of the log twisting and turning around. And then, you know, as you probably recall, I was adding a mask, so I'm going to turn that mask on and show you the edges, and that's where the mask goes. So this mask now follows the log all the way through the animation. Okay, so the next step is I had to remap the time a bit because I wanted to extend it. I wanted more frames, and what that means is that, as you can see here, it's taking a little bit longer. Not much, but it's taking. I'm adding a few extra frames. There were only 14 frames before, and now we've got 21 frames. So I'm just extending it and making it a bit slower. And here's the final animation. And then at the end, of course, the screen would shake horrendously and give us a bit more of a dramatic end to that. But what you're seeing here is the log overlaid on top of the background. So the background is not rendered every frame. The background is just underneath. That's the background of the scene, and the log is an object on top that is simply placed over everything. There's still going to be some cleanup here. I'll be cleaning up some of this stuff to make that ground blend in a bit, but it's already looking pretty darn good. I would expect there to be a bit of movement on the ground as the log sort of lays over it or rolls over it. So all I need to do really is take away a little bit of it as it rolls, and it's giving me that rolling shadow, and I just need to kind of paint out some of it so that it's not quite so much ground and looks a little less funky as it animates. The rest of the log is looking all right for me. All I really need to do is, as you can see in the original piece, the vines should be up here kind of stretching down and coming down with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some of that into it as well, just to kind of keep some of that those vines in the scene as it stretches and comes down. And I'll probably go ahead and do a stop motion animation of a whipping vine, just kind of letting go of the piece and sort of falling down into the chasm. Yeah. So, but we're about 85% there at this point, and now this stuff back here, what you're seeing is right about here is the line at which the scene stops, and then of course the blue screen will all disappear. So that line right there is that's our line where the screen stops. Everything beyond that line will be painted over and sort of exist later in the animation, in the background scene. It will look different. What you're seeing here is just a temporary, and this white was just to kind of help me cut stuff out, so that won't be there. And so what I want to do now is give you guys an idea of what this might look like in the actual game. So I'm gonna take out this background here. I'm gonna go back to this comp that I'm in now, which is log anim pre, and make a new one, which I'm gonna call log anim mockup. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab the current background graphic and just throw it in here. Okay, and then I'm gonna adjust it here to where that log is, And as you can see, the log is actually backwards. So in order to let's see, can never remember which one is which here. There we go. All right, got it the first try. So we just flipped it by scaling it minus 100 in the X direction, and so that's roughly what it's gonna look like. And then the log is going to fall here. Now, I might go ahead and adjust this to some level so that when it falls down, let's go ahead. In fact, let's go ahead and pin position and rotation right here. Then I'm going to go to the next frame and rotate it. Actually, I don't like the way it's rotating, so I'm going to change the middle point. There it is, right here. Actually animating the middle point, which I don't want to do. I'm going to change it right there. Now we're going to move the whole. Oh, you know what I'm doing. Okay, let's. I'm taking out all of the animation. I'm going to start over here. I'm going to turn the. I'm going to change the midpoint so it's right there. So that's our center point. Sorry. And then we're going to grab this, put it right where we want it again, and then I'm going to pin it, position, rotation from here, and then I'm going to go ahead and rotate it so that it just sits right where I want it in the scene. I grab all these, in fact, and move them. Oh, I need to get where I actually have a keyframe and move it. This is where I want it to sort of end up. And what I'm going to do is take my previous animation, and there we go. Okay, so now this is actually changing the position quite a bit, and if I want to make sure that that doesn't mess anything up here, if I want to go ahead and align these so that they're aligned the way I want them from the very beginning, I can actually change this, rotate this like this, and then it's going to adjust as it goes along and end up right where I want it. Now, since it should actually be rolling a bit, I could start it a little bit more like this, so that as it rolls, it's actually covering some distance. But one of the things that I have to consider here is that I'm also now going to be messing up the rocks a bit. Now, probably that won't matter because I can just go ahead and keep just enough to give myself a bit of a shadow there. But if that started looking funky under there with those rocks, then I might have to be more careful about how I'm actually moving this and cheating it. But anyway, this gives us a good. Let's play once, play through, and there we go. And it lands right there so that we can kind of walk across the chasm. And as I said, spoiler, yes, there is going to be a log, and you're going to be able to walk across the chasm. Now, of course, the color here is not really matching up, and that's fine. We haven't done anything to the color yet. This is going to undergo the same color correction as the background eventually. But just to kind of twist things a bit over to the green, so you can kind of get an idea for what it will look like. And I'm going to go ahead and bring the brightness or the lightness down a bit. Try to kind of match the saturation slightly. Using the tool I'm using right now, I'm never going to actually get it to look exactly like it does in the background, but I can definitely adjust it so that it's a little bit more similar. And I'm going to have to grab the levels and come down just a wee bit with the white level. In fact, I want to do that first because this is something important here, that the order in which you do these things counts, because now I'm going to be putting more green into those gray areas that I'm creating before I come to this level or to this effect here. Okay, so I go a little bit. There we go. All right, so that, well, that at least gives us something a little bit more similar to what we're looking at here. And there we go. And it comes down. Oh, you know, if we really want to do this right, I'm going to have to bring the black levels up, because the black levels are completely different on the background. There we go. And there. So there we have an animated moving log. Still pretty rough, but it's very close now to what it's going to look like in the game. Just a lot of little rough edges to smooth out, and some, you know, it's definitely some relighting, recoloring to do, and some rough edges down here in the rocks to make sure, you know, that all looks good. And then of course in the original image I have this log that you're seeing here is completely laid on top, and so if I turn that layer off, then all I've got underneath are just rocks, and we wouldn't even see that, and this would start to look a lot more natural. Okay, well, there you go. There's the almost end result of the log roll animation. I'm excited to get to the point where this is completely finished and I can show you the sort of dramatic difference from beginning to end. Okay, thanks.